Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again for the Next Level Racing GT3 Championship. This time for round 2, we are at Zolder here. Quite a tight and twisty circuit is Zolder, land of the chicanes, in fact. And we are 5 minutes already into this qualifying session. And currently, it is Benjamin Ostrek on provisional pole with a 128.1, not into the 127s just yet, but it is only a fast track in this quali session, so I'm sure if it does go to optimum, we will see the times coming down into the 127s, but is there enough time? Are there enough drivers on track to make it an optimum track? More grip, and Ostrek there putting a wheel onto the gravel. That's not going to help his lap time. Fortner currently in P3 is 4/10 up on his lap, but cuts the chicane, and that's where drivers are going to be making most of the mistakes. It's these chicanes, the first one and the second one, very, very lethal. Easy to invalidate your lap and make a mistake. You just saw there how much the cars bounce over those curves, and it can easily make you lose control of the car. But Thomas currently 2/10 up on his lap. He's got one more chicane to go. And his teammate there just up ahead. I believe that's Vining in P11 currently though. 1.1 seconds off of that provisional pole time. Not on a lap currently, but Thomas exits final corner. 4/10 up, 5/10 up. And this is going to put him probably P2. And 2 thousandths separating the top two here. Extremely close between the top two. Absolutely nothing separating them. I'm sure Thomas is going to go for that pole position. Probably going to get some fresh rubber and maybe even some less fuel just to gain him probably that extra time he needs. DeMarco currently in P6, a 10th up as he goes. Nope, not anymore. Gianmaria has just started the lap, I believe. He's 3/10 up on this lap. Let's look further down. We've got Dudka currently in P15, Fednad in P23 is just joined, I believe. Besselink currently in P16, not up for an improvement just yet, but he is on a lap. But it doesn't look like he's up on his time. Orange here in P20 is 7/10 up, but 4.4 seconds down. Orange had a much better time out at Spa, but this quality session doesn't look to be too good so far. But let's see if that's just maybe Orange not being able to put in a proper lap just yet. Currently a second up now, approaching the final couple of corners here. Let's see, exiting the final corner, and it is 2.9 seconds up, so it is a massive improvement from Orange there. Up into P14 though, jumps from I think it's P21 or P20 to P14, so quite a few positions gained, but still 1.5 seconds off of that provisional pole time set by Ostrek, a 1:28.1. Thomas out on track now on his outlap, I believe. Faulkner is a 10th up now. We saw Faulkner could have probably got to that pole position if it weren't for invalidating that lap. But he's got it in him. He's going to have to try and put it together in these last 6 minutes. Around the cars, they're just moving out the way to give Faulkner his run here. Exiting final corner, he's 2/10 up. This is probably going to put him on... Oh wow, it's only going to jump him up one position. Demori there in P3 now puts it within 1/10 of a second of that pole time set by Ostrek. So these three all just separated within 1/10 of each other, which is extremely close. They're going to be ones to watch out for. Faulkner as well, if you can put a lap together, it's going to be one to watch out for as well. Although he's only 1/10, well, yeah, 1/10 off, over 1.5 off of that pole time too, so extremely close between the top four. Pitchuk now looks like he's setting himself up for another lap here, just giving himself some space to anyone in front of him. Now he's going to start a flying lap here. Let's go on board with Pitchuk for this lap. Down into turn one, he's going to use second gear, using the curb on the inside, early on the power, using all of that exit curb as well. Down a couple gears here as well, using that inside curb and using all the exit of the track. It's important to use the full width of the track here in this first sector. Now slide down the brakes into this right-hander, quite a fast right-hander this one, and then a bit of a straight down towards the next chicane. This is very difficult, this chicane, so easy to invalidate your lap. I'm going to see the drivers taking a bit of the curb there. The car as well, at least the Assetto handling it pretty well. Now this second chicane is where it's so easy to invalidate your lap. I think this is where the drivers in, oh, a bit of a mistake there from Pitchuk. This is where the drivers in the race will be picking up some track limit warnings as well, and we may even see some drive-through penalties in this race. We'll just have to wait and see. Now heavy braking zone up towards this hairpin, trailing the brakes to get the nose turned in, and early on the power, using that curb on the exit as well to maximize your speed before we get down towards the last chicane, down into first for Pitchuk, using both those inside curbs. No problem for the Aston whatsoever. And what's it going to be for Pitchuk? Doesn't seem to be an improvement, but that is a lap on board with your man in P6 currently, 4/10 off of that provisional pole time, which hasn't actually improved yet. Still 1:28.140. Thomas hasn't improved yet. DeMarco has got closer. Actually, DeMarco now in P3. So the top four separated by 600ths here. That's extremely close. And well, I think we're in for quite a good race here. GT Jamie in the comments saying good luck, Cody. Besselink currently in P16, so it looks like he has improved. He's actually 3/10 up here as he exits the hairpin. 3/10 up. This is probably going to put him, it's going to be close, could put him in P12, but it looks like he's lost some time out of the hairpin, so not looking likely. It looks like he's gained it back as he exits the final corner, down the start finish straight. Where is it going to put him? It's going to be P11, P12 for Besselink. So exactly 100th off of Tobin there in P11, who's just binned it. But he's going to return the car to the pits then. Let's look at Vining currently in P8, a 10th up. We've got Raggy in P10, who's 2/10 up as well. Who's about to cross the line then? We've got the 141 car, who is Pitchik 5/10 down this lap, so no improvement there from him. Ostrek is flashing purple here, so he might be able to improve, but he's just started this lap, and it does seem like he's pretty close to his limit at the moment. Track's actually gone to optimum now, so we could see the times improve, maybe dipping into the 127s. Thomas was also flashing purple, but I think he's down on this lap now. Ostrek up a 10th on this lap as he enters the second chicane, using all of the track there. That's still within track limits for Ostrek. We could see an improvement in the last couple of minutes in this qualifying session. We've got who just improved there. I think it was Vining who got up into P6. Now look at the times, it's so close here between the top 13, all within a second of each other. But yeah, it was an improvement. Ostrek came up towards the final couple corners now. This final chicane, 3/10 up as he exits the final corner, bouncing over those inside curves though, so it's lost him a 10th, but he's going to improve. This is going to be the first 27 of his session, and there we go, a 27.9 from Ostrek, and I think he's going to bring the car to the pits with that one. Vining still up for an improvement. We've got Brown here on 4/10 up as well. And Elshaug looks like he's found some time. 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds up on this lap. 2 seconds up on this lap. So that's going to bring him closer to Curtin in P22. He's not had a great qualifying run so far. Seems to be struggling at the moment in the Aston. Per-Olav showing his support for Barth, Carl, Lager, who is Packham, and Lapria, who is Cody. Vesselink in P14, but Elshaug's going to round the final corner. 3 seconds up here as he rounds the final corner. It's going to be a great lap from Elshaug, which is probably going to put him into P22 though. There we go, up 1 position, even though he was 3 seconds up. Only getting in 1 position there. Thomas, a 10th up. Looks like he's bounced over those curbs through the chicane, and he's lost that time he had. But he's gained a bit on the exit. Let's see what he can do here. Still got a few corners to go, and you can see there he's gained some time. 2/10 up now. It's going to be extremely close. He might have a bit of a slipstream from the car ahead as well. That Ferrari just up ahead. It's going to be extremely close as they cross the line. I think that Thomas is going to have to get this perfect through this final chicane, and he is flashing purple as he exits the final corner. I think this is going to be it. He's going to have to use that slipstream from the car in front. He doesn't though, and it's not going to be enough. 200ths separating P1 and P2. DeMarco a 10th up though. Looks like he's got some traffic. I believe, is that Demori? I think that was Demori, but didn't look like he got in the way there. DeMarco not up on his time as of yet. It could all change though. We've still got this hairpin to go, and we've still got that final chicane to go as well. Nothing gained here for DeMarco, so I think that's going to be it for this qualifying session. Faulkner is on an invalid lap as well, so it's not going to count. But Ostrek P1, then Thomas P2, and that's going to leave DeMarco in P3. So we'll be back very shortly for the start of the race. Make sure to stay tuned. Now, we're back here for the formation lap, and well, it is dark. We're starting at 5 AM here at Zolder, and it does look quite nice. The track lights, the lighting much better on PC than it is on console, so a bit more for the drivers to see, or they can see a bit better here than they would be able to on console. But yeah, the lighting looks really nice here, and as we saw in qualifying, Ostrek on pole, Thomas so close behind, and it's going to be a great race here if the top 5, top 6 can all, maybe even top 7 can all keep it very close to each other for this race. But let's go a quick, very quick grid walk for the drivers on the track. Actually, I don't think I have enough time for the grid walk, but we'll do the top 10 in fact for the grid walk. As we saw, Ostrek on pole, Thomas in P2 there, DeMarco P3, Demori P4. We should be lining up side by side very soon. We've still got this hairpin to go, but Viding P6, Pitchik P7, and got some lovely liveries on the track as well. Galet's going to be quite hard to see in the dark because Comazetto as well. Raggy in P10, Orange in P11, and should we do the top 15? Brownhill P12, Tobin P13, Messelink P14, and Dave in P15 there. So there we have it. We should be lining up side by side now for the start of this race as they approach the final chicane here. And Roth saying very strange Thomas didn't use the slipstream. He would have been pole for sure. Yeah, he definitely would have. Maybe the car in front may have been, was slowing down, so he thought that they would have blocked him. Who knows? But I reckon he could have got a bit more time. But we should be going green very shortly here as we come up towards the start line. And Ostrek on the inside, so he's got the optimal line coming up towards turn 1, and there we go. We are green. A drive-through for Ostrek. Oh no, he's got a drive-through penalty, so he's obviously sped on the start. Well, actually it was for position on start, so wasn't in the correct position then, and he's gonna have to serve that. That's gonna, well, drop him right down the order, especially at the start of the race. He's gonna have to claw his way back up the field. That's such a shame for Ostrek. But it's important for him to gain as much time and pull away from the pack behind at the start here. But yeah, he's definitely going to be losing loads of positions off the start. Thomas in P2, Demore in P3 still, DeMarco in P4, so not many position changes of the start. Looks to be very clean there from the whole field. Which is good to see. Vining's, yeah, I don't think anyone is really... Actually, Vining's lost a position off the start. Pitchik is gained 2 positions. You see one of the cones, the track limit cones, flying there off into the distance. But Pitchik up into P5 after starting P7. Vining down a position, Faulkner down a position as well. So good start for Pitchik. Comazetto up a position. But yeah, it looks like everyone is pretty much... No, Galet is down, dropped down to P23, so he's had an off somewhere. Don't see any damage on the car, so I think it may have been through the one of the chicanes where he's lost the car. But Ostrek pulls away, already a 1.2 second lead there. Besselink into the pits. What's happened to Besselink? No, he is into the pits. I don't see any damage on his car either. What has happened to Besselink? I think he's either not put enough fuel in. Something's gone wrong there with Besselink. That's a shame for him. But Thomas pulling away ever so slightly from Demori. Thomas and Demori competing in a couple of our championships here at the SimZone. They seem to be quite inseparable on track. Always very close to each other. Now battling on track as well with Thomas just up ahead. DeMarco just behind, Pitchik P5. Let's see what else is going on here. Looks like we've got another car into the pits. No, it's just, yeah, we've got the 4... What other car is into the pits? McGowan is into the pits. He stopped there before the pit entry. He's now into the pits. I don't see any damage on his car either. So what has happened to these two? Oh no, McGowan does have some serious damage on his car. So something's happened there with him. We'll see if we can get a replay of what exactly happened to McGowan. But Fanara down in P19, having to fend off Galley. Now he's going to make his way back up the order, looking for an inside move down the inside there. But no, Fanara's actually gone for a move on Elshaug. And up in position he goes. Quite a late move there, but looks like Galley is going to follow him through, and Ostrek now serving his drive-through penalty is going to drop down the order, which promotes Thomas now into the race lead. Demori P2, DeMarco P3, Pitchik P4, and Faulkner P5. Now looks like that's Pitchik going around the outside there of, I think that is, who was that? Was that I'm not sure who that was actually. That was on to Ostrek. It's one of the Ferraris. And it wasn't... Oh no, it was Faulkner. So Faulkner in P5 there. And Vining looking like he's eyeing up a move here. Not really much space on the track to go for a move here, but looks like the Ferrari in front, Faulkner going slightly defensive, bouncing over those curbs. Pitchik, though, cutting the track ever so slightly, may have got a warning for that one. Definitely don't want to be picking up a drive-through for track limits this early on. For Ostrek it was position on start. Pitchik there struggling to get the nose turned in. It's a better exit from Faulkner. Can he go for a move here coming up towards this final chicane? Doesn't look like he's close enough. They will just sit in that slipstream. And now the top two once again pulling away now from the rest of the field. Thomas and Demori have opened up a second gap there to DeMarco. Demori now with the fastest lap of the race at 1:29.0. But definitely not as quick as they were lapping in qualifying. But sure, once they start to create a bit of a gap to the rest of the field, the times will start to come down, especially with the fuel loads being depleted as well. We'll see some times definitely coming down, maybe into the 128s, low 128s. I'm not too sure about 127s because we just about got into the 127s even in qualifying when the track went optimum, so it might be a bit too much to ask for the drivers. Godper saying Besselink forgot fuel, rookie mistake there from Besselink, and that's dropped him down to P22 now. And it looks like we're going side by side here. Faulkner and Pitchik. Faulkner on the outside. He's got the move done. What a move there from Faulkner. Round the outside, deep onto the brakes. And he got that done into the chicane. Not really a move you see often there, but he's got that done. And we're going to bring that up. Definitely for a replay later on. Demori now on the back of Thomas here. Let's get an onboard from Demori. Now the field spacing out ever so slightly, but there's still so much going on throughout the field. Let's see if we can pick up any other battles that are even closer. We've got Competizione and Vining P7 and P6 actually, which is quite a close battle, and we're going to switch over to them just now in the... Oops, what's happened there? Ah, that's why. Oh, we can't do that then. Okay, we are going to switch over to them just now while we... There we go, these two extremely close. In fact, Vining looks like he's got past Competizione, I think. No. Vining in P6 now, yeah, so Competizione P7. These two quite even on pace. Competizione that last lap was quicker. Vining in the thick of it all though, so battling with Pitchik as well. Faulkner, as we saw, made that move last time around on Pitchik, but it's Faulkner leading this little train, followed by Pitchik, then Vining, then Competizione. And I think if we go on board with Competizione, we're going to have a good view of this battle just up in front. You can see these four very even on pace as well. They're battling really closely at the moment. And Faulkner, after getting that overtake done, hasn't really been able to pull away from this pack. Pitchick still putting the pressure on. This is a great battle to see. Thomas now opening up the gap to Demori by 1.7 seconds. Demori's got to worry about who's behind him now. DeMarco within half a second. Is DeMarco really letting the brakes there from Comizetto, nearly tagging the back of Vining there, but he's had to lift to avoid getting a track limit warning. How's Comizetto? That was really close, and I'm sure Vining has got his heart in his mouth after that one. He would have been looking in his rearview mirror. That was a really close one between those two. But let's go back to DeMarco now, who's on the back of Demori. These two now battling is really going to allow Thomas to pull away. He's now got the fastest lap of the race, a 1:28.3, so low 28 for Thomas. For Demori, his best has only been a 1:29 flat, so 7/10 quicker for Thomas. Oh, he's really got some pace here at Zolder. Cascanova in the comments saying good luck. Dave Keane in the comments saying come on Michael, Chris and Dave. Oh, RKM drivers. Those three. We'll go back to this battle between Vining, Pitchick and Faulkner. And Comizetto seems to be a bit too far back now after that mistake he made. I mean, just goes to show one mistake and you're going to lose over a second. And in fact, the cars behind seem to be catching up as well. You can see Raggy in P8, Orange in P9, and Hobbin in P10 is looking for a move here. Orange has made some positions up. Yeah, he's made quite a few positions, in fact. Started P11, a couple of positions. So he started P11 in the race. He's made 2 off the start. And Tobin in P10 started P13. So both positive starts from these two drivers. They'll be looking to catch this pack up in front. They are lapping similar times to this pack, maybe a bit quicker. A couple tenths, I think they're closing in a lap to these three in front, but they are battling quite hard. Faulkner still out in front, hasn't been able to pull away too much from Pitchick. As they exit the final corner, there is a slight gap between these three, but that's just maybe the concertina effect. When they go into the braking zones and then exit the braking zones, they're spaced out ever so slightly. Well, that was a mistake from Pitchick exiting turn 1, but looks like he's all under control here. And let's look further down. What other battles have we got going on? Tobin has lost the car there on the exit of turn 1. He's onto the gravel, got it facing the right way now, but he's down into P16. We had another battle between Dutka and Gallet. In fact, they were side by side just beforehand, but Dutka has made the position on Gallet. Up into P14 he goes. Well, Gallet even tried for a move, but Dutka got that position back. Let's see, can Gallet go for a move here into the first chicane? No, he's going to think better of it. Just biding his time here. He needs to focus on that exit, and this is where we've seen Faulkner go for a move on Pitchick. Can Gallet do the same? No, contact between the two. Bit too late on the brakes there from Gallet, but Dutka stays ahead. It's going to be some damage there on the diffuser of Dutka. And Gallet really putting on the pressure to Dutka here. A bit too aggressive in my opinion. But that contact's not going to be great. They're both going to be picking up some damage as a result, but this could be Gallet's opportunity now. Is Dutka going to go defensive? He is. Gallet's forced to the outside here, and does he have enough space? Just about. Dutka's going to squeeze him to the outside, and he holds onto that position. Great defensive driving there from Dutka. He holds onto this position for yet another lap. We've got Van Hoorn just up in front here, P13, a Dutchman here in the Aston Martin. P13, number 13 as well. And all runs wide on the exit of turn 2. That's not going to help with his tyres or his lap time. He's got Barth just up in front in P12. These two lapping similar lap times, within a few tenths of each other actually. Let's go back to the race leader then. Thomas has pulled 2.6 seconds to Demori. Demori still having to fend off DeMarco, although DeMarco hasn't really been close enough to put himself in a position for an overtake. But definitely still there, not letting Demori get out of his sights. Demori's got him in his rearview mirrors, so definitely can't rule him out just yet. We've got Pitchik, Faulkner and Vining still battling for position here. Comizetto, ever since he made that mistake, hasn't been able to close the gap once again to this pack up ahead. He's been lapping on the 129.6s, and this pack just up ahead, these three in the 129.7s. In fact, this lap, let's see what it is as they cross the line. 129.2 from Faulkner that time around. So yeah, all these three, Faulkner, Pitchik and Vining, 129.2s and 129.3s. They're even now pulling away from Comizetto. Actually, Comizetto has just crossed the line and done a 129.2 as well. So similar lap times. He's keeping that gap, just isn't able to catch up. But if these three trip over each other, you can see him in the background. He's definitely there, now 1.5 seconds off of Faulkner, so definitely there, can't rule him out either. And these three are going to have to be careful. You can see in the background now, in fact, DeedeeTKU and Gallet now still battling for position. Looks like Gallet's trying everything he can, but he just can't get past DeedeeTKU. Zolder, not an easy track to get past if the car ahead is placing the car exactly where they need to. A very narrow circuit is Zolder. I think for DeedeeTKU, his best opportunity is to focus on the exits here. You can get a good exit out of maybe this hairpin that's coming up in into sector 3. If you can get a good exit out of there, or even a good run out of this chicane up towards the hairpin, where he can go for a move down the inside, this could be a good opportunity, but no, he thinks better of it. He's not close enough. He needs to be glued to that rear bumper of DeedeeTKU if he wants to go for a move there, or maybe even be side by side beforehand. But this is another good opportunity as we approach the final chicane. He's on the outside once again, and DeedeeTKU's just going to do exactly what he did before. LA just not having his car alongside enough to really go for a move there. But still, as it were, between these two. And down the inside into turn 1 goes Gallet, and he's got that job done. DeedeeTKU looking for an immediate reply back down in towards the inside into turn 2. No, he's not going to be able to get that done. So Gallet, after quite a few attempts, being stuck behind DeedeeTKU, he's got that job done. He's now going to be able to pull away. Remember, Gallet started in P8. He's down 6 positions off the start, so he made a mistake. He's climbing his way back up the field, but being stuck behind DeedeeTKU is going to, well, that really put a halt to his progress. But he's in some clean air now, so we'll see him catch back up. Looks like that is Besselink there, lapped traffic, now moving out of the way of the lap traffic of the lead cars here. He's going to have to move out the way of DeMarco, who was much closer to Demori. Doesn't look like Demori was quite happy with that one. He's definitely lost some time. Sorry, doesn't look like DeMarco is quite happy with that one. He's definitely lost some time to Demori here. But you're going to lose some time when you're in lapped traffic. That's just part and parcel of racing, unfortunately. Looking like Faulkner has now pulled a 1.3 second gap to Pitchik, and that leaves Pitchik and Vining fairly close, but not as close as they were in the earlier stages of this race. Ostrek now climbing back through the field as well after his drive-through penalty that he got for position on start. He's got that move done on Tobin. Now he's got another 2 seconds to the next car in front, so that will be his next victim. Yeah, currently lapping in the 129s, but he's obviously making his way through the field, battling with cars. So he's not going to be able to attempt the fastest lap of the race or make as much progress on the cars ahead if he were in clean air, which he does have a bit of now. He's in a bit of clean air now, 1.8 seconds to DeedeeTKU in front. But he's just made that move on Tobin, so not really going to be much of an improvement on his lap time there. Orange now battling with Raggy here. Raggy P8, Orange P9, Ferrari versus Porsche. It's the two new cars here on ACC now battling for position. Let's go on board with Orange here. Just listen to that Porsche screaming down the straight. We've got quite a few more comments coming in. We've got Ronan Hoover saying Thomas creating a bigger gap. Yep, 2.6, 2.5 seconds now to Demori. I wouldn't say a comfortable gap, but he probably won't be feeling the pressure at the moment. So he can sort of maybe not push as hard now that he's got that gap. Well, up to 3 seconds now, in fact. So I think that will come back down. Or maybe not. DeMarco's close right up to the back of Demori, so I think there's been a mistake. We're going to have to go and have a look at DeMarco and Demori, this battle for P2. And yeah, Demori's definitely made a mistake. The gap's now 4 seconds between Thomas and Demori, so a mistake that lost, well, this lap from the man in P2. Now he's got to deal with DeMarco right behind him. Let's see what his lap time was. Demori that last time, yeah, 130 laps from Demori. For DeMarco it was a 129.1, so he's made a huge mistake there. I assume that's either going to be through the chicanes. I mean, most of this track is chicanes, but yeah, he's made a huge mistake somewhere. And it looks like, no, that wasn't Gallet into the pits. I think that was just a bit of an error there. Oh, Gallet actually made a mistake, had to go into the grass. We're going to bring up this battle between Dutka and Tobin now, who are quite close on track. I think Curtin's actually got some damage. Yeah, Curtin into the pits now. He's carrying some damage. Pit window's now open though, so perfect timing there for him. Where is Tobin and Dutka? I can't even find them on track. Here we go. Now we'll bring them up. P16 and P17, Tobin looking for this overtake. We saw Tobin make a mistake into turn 1 a few laps ago. He'll have to claw his way back up the field now. I don't think he lost too many positions, but he will have to try and gain them back now. Looks like Besselink seems to be off the track. Besselink's got some damage as well. Oh, he's struggling to get it going once again. He's picked up some heavy damage. I think he's may have lost the car on his own. He's got the damage on the front. Looks like he had a big collision with the wall. I don't see any damage. Oh, there is a bit on the rear. Maybe we can bring up a replay of what happened to Besselink. It's a shame that he didn't feel. And yeah, now into the pits. Not a surprise there. He's going to repair that damage as well. Looking at Vining, he's closed onto the back of Pitchett once again. Gap just half a second between these two. Tobin still in the back of Dutka as well. These two really close coming in towards turn 1. Just 3 or 4 tenths separating them. Going through the first chicane now. You can see sparks flying from Pitchett's Aston just up ahead. And Vining is inching closer every corner, every lap here. Look at the exit he's got, or the entry as well. He's got through that second chicane. And DeMarco now still on the back of Demori. We're going to quickly bring that up in just a moment. It looks like Tobin there in this second battle, side by side, just leaving enough room for each other. Side by side into the second chicane here. Still leaving enough room for each other. He's not been able to get that move done. Great respectful driving from the both of them. But Dutka once again showing that he is able to defend against the faster drivers, but it might have spoken too soon here. Tobin down the inside, late on the brakes. Still side by side between these two though. Dutka's going to keep it around the outside of the hairpin. He's going to have the inside possibly for the last chicane. No, I think Tobin's just got that done. An upper position he goes. Great move there by Tobin. Couldn't hold him off for any longer. But Vining not able to get close enough. Looks like that is, I think that's Barth. Yeah, that's Barth who's just served his mandatory stop. Currently running in P19, running the oh, he's got his livery on now, the Adweiser Racing Team livery on that Porsche. So good to see. Good to see that. Looking at the top, well, P2 and P3 are super close now, coming up towards the hairpin. DeMarco looks down the inside, beat deep on the brakes though, misses the apex by a meter or so, trying to force Demori into a mistake. Demori unfazed at the moment. You can see there Thomas exiting the final corner now. 5 seconds he's got to Demori. This last time round for Thomas, a 1:29.1. A bit slower this time for him, but probably due to tyre wear now. And the traffic, actually, there is a bit of traffic up in front, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's in clean air. There's a bit of traffic though in front of Demori. They seem to have Mercedes. I think that's McGowan in P21. Yes, it is. And Elshaug into the pits now for his mandatory stop. Brownhill out on track. Dave into the pits for his mandatory stop too. Looks like Brownhill and Van Hoorn battling for position here. Brownhill losing the position though. Down into P19 he goes. It's Aston Martin versus Aston Martin. Now the problem with oh, Pirot saying Cody got hit off. Pirot saying he's I am stupid, so maybe not. The problem when you've got the same manufacturer battling with you is you're going to be quicker and you're going to be faster and slower in the same places in terms of the characteristics of the car. So if you've got turbo lag, which the Aston does, well, there's not much you can do there. You're both going to have turbo lag out of the tighter corners, especially down towards this hairpin. This is probably where the Aston Martin will struggle to pick up a bit of speed compared to the Porsche in front. Barth just up in front in P17, but Brownhill and Van Hoorn, both Aston Martins, so they're both going to be slower in the same places, and that just makes it even more difficult to get past. And whoa, Brownhill into the pits. I think Brownhill might have a drive-through penalty. No, he's got to stop go 30 for speeding in the pits. So that's a shame. Brownhill's not going to be involved in this battle anymore. It's just going to leave Van Hoorn and Barth to battle it out on track. And a bit of a mistake there from Van Hoorn into turn 1, taking too much of the curb on the inside. We saw his car bottom out there, and sparks flying. The gap between these two still just a second. Pitchik and Faulkner. Pitchik's actually caught back up to Faulkner. Faulkner was able to pull about a second and a bit to Pitchik, but now this gap has come down about half a second now between these two. Showing 0.8, but it looks to be slightly less than 0.8, especially when they come in towards the braking zones. Like I said earlier, that's just the concertina effect. Tom is still leading the race. The Demori and DeMarco separated now by 0.8 as well. But Pitchik on a mission here. Pitchik started P7, like I said, gained 2 positions off the start. He had a flying start, did Pitchik. Contentnow saying, is turbo lag a problem with AMG? No, it's not. Although they use the AMG and the Aston, I believe, use the same engine. The Aston's got a turbo. AMG, no, it's just got so much torque. It's probably your traction control that's limiting you on the hairpins. Usually, in the Merc, you have to lower the TC in the hairpins. I know the hairpin at Suzuka, you do have to lower the traction control there, and then higher it as you exit the corner. But it's all about keeping the car straight once you're exiting the corner. If you're turning and getting on the power while your wheel is turned, that's when the traction control is going to be kicking in, and that's where you're going to really feel the bogging down of the car, really. That's why it's so important to be smooth. And trail braking is huge in GT cars. You trail brake, get your rotation done early, and then once your car is pointing in the right direction, you slam down on the power. That bogging down won't really happen. And look how close DeMarco is to Demori, extremely close. He's putting on the pressure once again to Demori. Seems that Demori, at the moment in this stage of the race, pulls a slight gap to DeMarco and makes maybe a mistake, and then allows DeMarco to close back up. Robert now into the pits for his mandatory stop, and looking at the deltas as well. Pitchik and Hoorn are extremely close. Look at these two, they're glued to each other's bumpers going in towards turn 1. And let's have a look. Where is Pitchik? Where is Faulkner? Here we go. So on board with Pitchik now. Put on the back of Faulkner. These two still battling for position as well. Pack on the back of Gallet. Now this is... We've got so many battles going on. I think Gallet has actually made that move done. Looks like Van Hoorn has come out ahead. Tobin has come out behind Van Hoorn and ahead of Barth though. Barth has made a mistake somewhere. Looking at these two, Demori and DeMarco. DeMarco's got a great exit out of that first chicane. Is he going to have the inside line coming up towards the second? No, he's not. Backs out of that move. Good defending there from Demori. Places the car in the middle of the track. So not really anywhere for DeMarco to go. Couldn't go left or right. Well, Zolder's quite a narrow track, and looks like there's been contact. Pitchik facing the wrong way out of the chicane and didn't actually quite catch that. Let's see if we can bring up a replay of exactly what happened there to Pitchik, but he's lost positions, and what a shame. And looking at DeMarco, a bit of a dummy towards the final corner. He's not going to go for that. Oh, bit of contact between the two. I thought DeMarco's maybe going to go into the pits there. Stays out in track. Now this is where the undercut is probably going to be the best bet. If I were DeMarco, I'd go straight into the pits. And Thomas into the pits now, the race leader. Let's see what exactly happened to Pitchik in those final moments there. And oh, I've just seen what happened. Looks like that may have actually been Faulkner's fault. It's going to be down to the stewards, that one, but we'll bring it up. We can get the replay here, side by side. As you can see, going into this first chicane, following each other nicely. Actually got this synchronized, the live feed and the replay. But yeah, they are perfectly fine, and this is where Faulkner got quite a bad exit. Pitching on the outside, looks like he may have just turned across there. But contact between the two, and Pitchik got spun round there, facing the wrong way. Bit of a 360, bit of a pirouette, but he got facing the right way in the end. Oh, we've got quite a few drivers on the pits now as well for their mandatory stop, pitting just after the halfway mark. Marco and Demori now separated ever so slightly. Thomas, has he come out on traffic? No, he seems to be in clean air, so he may come out in front if there's not been any mistakes from him. But yeah, Pitchik. Oh no, Pitchik with a stop go 30. Faulkner with a stop go 30 as well. Both for speeding in the pits. Oh my god. So both these two were battling with each other beforehand, made contact, and now they both got stop go 30s for speeding in the pits. And quite a few drivers here have got penalties for speeding in the pits. Such a shame. But let's see what else is going on throughout the field. We've got Ostrek and Curtin battling for position. Ostrek down the inside. Curtin doesn't look like he's going to fight him too hard. He knows Ostrek's out of position here. Just going to let him through. Contentnow saying Jan could be top 10 after these pit stops finish. Possibly. Jan started, Barth started in P16. He's up one position since the start. I'm not sure. I don't think he will be top 10. He's P15 at the moment. I think that's going to stay pretty much as it is. Elshaug did pit earlier on. Doesn't look like he served his mandatory stop. He's now into the pits. Well, yeah, he's now into the pits for his mandatory stop. Slowing down way too much on pit entry there, and I think someone in the background just hit the wall. And oh wow, seen a bit of a Sebastian Vettel-esque manoeuvre there from Pitchik. Overtaking on pit entry. Oh, he tried it at least, but it didn't work. The top two still DeMarco, and now looks like Demoria served his pit stop. So DeMarco's still out in front, going for a longer strategy here. So maybe fueled a bit more for his first stint. Right, we're back. So I just need to get some food. I'm absolutely starving here. But DeMarco into the pits now. Perfect time to be back. Where is Demori out on track? So Demori's going to be probably pretty much just started the lap. I think entering sector 2 now is Demori. So still a bit to go. He's 16 seconds though behind Thomas. What has happened here? What has happened to Demori? He's not had a great stop at all. The gap was only about 5-6 seconds, and now he's 16 seconds behind. So he's made a huge mistake. Lord Perth saying nice synchronization. Yeah, thanks. It was actually completely unintentional, but it worked out. But Demori's way behind here. I thought he would have been much closer. But yeah, something's happened. I'm not sure if he's got... No, he didn't get a drive-through or a stop-go. He's made a huge blunder into the pits. I think that may have been him hitting the pit entry wall that we saw. So possibly repaired some damage in the pits. And DeMarco, where is he? He's got going already. And Demori's not even up towards the final corner yet. So DeMarco's going to jump Demori in the pits. And he's going to be into P2. Let's have a look now. P9, Packham fending off Raggy now. Yeah, let's bring up the pit stop times. We can actually see how long was spent in the pits here. Last stop length. So, no, actually, Demori, the times are quite similar, but the gap is huge. So I think Demori's made a mistake out on track rather than into the in the pits. He doesn't have any damage on his car. And Packham had a switch of cars, was in the BMW at first, didn't enjoy it after the 1.9 update, so he's into the Ferrari now. Of course, his points completely wiped, so he's starting on 0 points, and that is the penalty actually for switching cars. This is quite a nice battle we've got going on, however. Let's see if we can get on board with Raggy as well. I'm going to bring this battle up side by side. And we've got a drive-through for track limits. Someone has just picked up a drive-through. It's McGowan who's picked up a drive-through, unfortunately. And I did say track limits were going to be a bit of a pain here at Zolder. They always are. And it's not just been track limits, actually. It's been the stop-go 30s. The driver speeding into the pits as well. Contentnow saying, did Besselink have a problem earlier? Yes, he didn't fuel. So he pretty much pitted on the, I think on the opening lap, or the lap after. He didn't put enough fuel into his car. I think he started with his quali fuel. Ostrek now with the fastest lap of the race, actually. A 128.2. So Ostrek did qualify on pole. And had a drive-through position on start, making his way through the field now. Actually just got a move done on Dutka. Up into P14 he goes. Everyone has served the mandatory pit stops. We're going into the pits for his drive-through penalty now. There we go, that's a better view. But while this battle goes on, I will be back in just a moment. But we'll stay on board with this battle. Just bear with me 2 minutes. Right, apologies for that. Back, and we've still got this battle going on, so no position changes between these two. Let's see what else is going on throughout the field. Let's have a look at our race leader Thomas, who got a 6.5 second gap still to DeMarco, so not much going on between the top three after the pit stops. In fact, not much going on across the field now after the pit stops. We've got Raggy and Packham pretty much the closest two. So yeah, in fact, I think we'll stay on board with this battle. Let's go back to Packham and P9 and get that rear view. Actually, let's switch things up. Let's go on board with Raggy here. There we go. Here we go. Now we've got the roles reversed. But these two in terms of lap times. So Raggy, that last lap was 2 tenths quicker, 129.567 from Raggy, but from Packham it was a 129.740, and it's still very, very close to 2, even on pace as well. Raggy started P10, he hasn't gained or lost any positions since the start. Packham though started P18. It's gained 9 positions off the start. I think that's the most of this race. Yes, it is. So Packham with the most positions gained since the start. Second in that battle would be TractionDave, running in P7 at the moment. Started P15, so a huge amount of positions gained for him as well. Down towards toe, and the gap's pretty much still the same between these two, 7/8 tenths. And in fact, Raggy that last time around a 10th quicker once again. Now, although he's lapping quicker, it doesn't really seem to be gaining much on Packham, but they are lapping very similar lap times, so it is quite difficult to notice the difference. We've got Fanara on the back of Curtin now as well, so that's another battle going on for P17. Which we'll have a look at now. Curtin had a no, didn't have a drive through, but we saw him have some damage earlier on. Pretty much as soon as the pit window opened, he dived into the pits, repaired that damage, and now his car in pristine condition, so no scuffs or marks, which will be well, scuffs or marks won't really hinder your lap time, but the damage to the splitter and the diffuser will. None of that. And oh, bit of oversteer there for Curtin. That's not going to help his exit. Is Fenara going to have a run here? No, he's not. But much closer than he was before. They're coming up towards the chicane. He's got a good exit once again. I think Curtin might have to go slightly defensive here. Moves over to the racing line. And Pitchick, no, sorry, not Pitchick. Fenara with a bit of a dummy there into the braking zone. But it's not going to phase Curtin whatsoever. He knows that Fenara can't send it up the inside there without making contact. He's in an alright position here at the moment. You can see in the background, I think that is that DeMarco catching up to them? No, sorry, Demori? Yes, it's Demori catching up to them. So Demori has got some traffic now in the form of this battle between Curtin and Fenara. Aston Martin versus Aston Martin. Now we've got another battle as well. Dave, who looks like he's made a move on Gallet, so that's just happened actually, and we're gonna have to bring that up. Dave up into P6 now, making the McLaren work. I've seen him, I think, struggling a bit in the McLaren in well, last round and in the Friday Track Day Championship. He seems to be making it work now here at Zolder. Maybe just gels with this car and track combination a bit more than last time out at Spa. But yeah, he definitely has just made that move on Gallet across the line. Gallet, though, that last time around 3/10 quicker. I think Dave now is going to have to start thinking about defending. He's not got the best exit out of turn one there. Bit of oversteer, too much curb as well. And I think Gallet trying to set himself up for a move here. Also made a mistake himself. He didn't get the best exit either. Now coming in towards turn three. He's right at the back of Dave once again. It seems that battle between Packham and Raggy slowly dying out. The gap between those two now a second. Packham slightly pulling away now. Oh, back down to 8/10. So it's chopping and changing. Is that gap, and here we go. Good exit there from Gallet out of the first chicane. Looking towards the inside. No, backs out of that move. Just continuously putting on the pressure though to Dave. Showing his nose up the inside and trying to force Dave into a mistake, but doesn't look like Dave is going to budge just yet. Still defending his position very nicely, running that Red Bull livery on his McLaren. You can see the Porsche closing in now, but once again not close enough to send it up the inside. Turn one is a good place to do it, and the heavy braking zone of that hairpin as well. Turn one's going to be a great place to do it here for Gallet. Looks towards the outside. Dave's going to have to keep the car in the middle of the track here. There's a lot of room there between these two. Dave could have squeezed him a bit more, but looks like Gallet trying to go for a switchback here. Dave's going to have the inside for the next corner, and can Gallet do it around the outside? Is it going to work? No, I don't think it is. Dave's going to have the inside for the next right-hander as well, turn three. And I think Dave's going to successfully defend, but no, Gallet with a late look down the inside, but has to back out of it. Dave sticks to his line, and that's going to force Gallet onto the gravel. And great driving between these two. Let's see if we can bring up a replay of that overtake we had earlier when Faulkner went round the outside of, I believe it was Pitchick. You can see here, Faulkner later on the brakes, got that move done round the outside of Pitchick. And what a move. I think the best move we've seen this race so far. But this battle continues. Looks like we had a few more retirements. A couple more retirements for the race, actually. It was a shame because we're only into the last 12 minutes now. Raggy and Packham even closer than before. Looks like Packham has made a slight mistake in these final few corners. Looking at just up ahead, it's Dave and Packham side by side once again. Sorry, what am I saying? It's Dave and Gallet side by side once again. We've got two more battles going on. Another battle going on as well. We've got Pitchik and Dutka. As soon as I mentioned that nothing was happening, and looks like that's Gallet looking down the inside here. He tried this last lap, but he might be successful this time around. Dave onto the gravel, and there we go. Gallet forcing Dave into a mistake, and now up into P6. Dave down a position, and behind him he's got Packham and Raggy closing in. Only 3 seconds behind Dave here after that mistake now. Novak saying what happened with Van Horn's car's interval. I believe it's because he's not on the same lap. Currently in P11, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because he's not on the same lap. That's why it's showing up as that huge number. Either that or it's a bug. Not 100% sure. Let's go down to this battle between Pitchik and Dutka. Looks like they're side by side here. Pitchik trying to go for a move up towards the second chicane. Looks like he's got the inside line. I don't think there's much that Dutka can do. He's going to have to back out of that. And there we go. Pitchik up into P14. Now Pitchik and... where's he gone? Oh, Faulkner has actually retired from the race. Ostrek into the pits once more. What has happened to Ostrek? He's got a drive-through penalty for track limits. My God, there's been quite a few drive-through penalties here. In this race for track limits, quite a few stop-go 30s as well. But Faulkner has retired from the race, and I was going to say he had a stop-go 30. So did Pitchik, who's in P14 now. Saying, Lord Plus saying, Lager doing amazing. Yeah, he's doing a great job at the moment. Is Packham in P8. Contentnow saying Ostrek is catching Jan as well. Well, no, not anymore. Yeah. Not anymore, unfortunately, but we've still got this battle going on. Looks like some traffic, actually. I think that is Demori now getting past Dutka there. So once again, it's Raggy and Packham batting for position here. And look at the exit that Raggy's got on Packham there. Packham make a huge mistake out of the chicane. And Raggy's got it done even before the braking zone there. So Packham bouncing over the curves a bit too much. Got a poor exit. And Raggy, after hassling the back of Packham for so long, has only just managed to get the move done. I'm just seeing the gap between Thomas and DeMarco. Thomas has made a mistake somewhere. The gap between those two is now 1.8 seconds. Thomas had a comfortable lead of about 5-6 seconds, but now that gap has completely dropped. And that just goes to show it's not over before you cross that that finish line. Before the checkered flag is waved, anything can happen, even if you've got a huge lead to the driver in P2. It can be over in just a split second. after that mistake from Packham and Raggy getting past. He's losing a bit of time now to Raggy. 1.5 seconds is the gap between those two. And 1.5 seconds is the gap between P1 and P2 as well as they cross the line. Thomas that last time around, 1:28.7. It was a 1:28.3 for DeMarco that time around as well. Close to the fastest lap of the race, actually. It was still held by Ostrek. And that... oh, sorry, no. Ostrek did a 1:27.8. Ostrek, the only driver into the 1:27s, actually. DeMarco, the next closest to that with a 1:28 lap. But let's bring up a comparison of their previous lap times here, that last time around. So, like I said, a 1:28.7 for Thomas, and for DeMarco it was a 1:28.3. Sector 1, DeMarco was actually 300 slower, so not much separating them in Sector 1. Sector 2, however, that was about 1/10.5 where DeMarco was quicker. And Sector 3, it looks like Thomas was 0.2 slower. That's where he seems to be losing most of the time, Sector 2 and Sector 3. And now this gap between the two closing even more. It's down to a second, maybe just within a second as they get into the braking zone here. Thomas in a bit of trouble towards the end of this race. You can see a bit closer in terms of lap time. Actually, no, not closer in terms of lap time. DeMarco, I read that the wrong way around. DeMarco was about 0.6 quicker, and he's reeled Thomas in now. This is going to be a heck of a battle towards these last few laps of the race. It's become quite interesting now. Let's go on board with DeMarco. We've got Tobin and Packham back into position as well. Bring that up just now. Here we go. But going into the pits, he picked up another another drive-through, sorry. He may have, or he may even have some damage. Not been McGowan's race today, unfortunately. Definitely not been his race. Saying, I wonder if Thomas didn't change tyres. Oh, look how close they are into the final corner here. I think he did. There would be no reason for him not to. He was leading the race comfortably. You'd only really not change tyres if you'd go for an undercut. And you know you can keep the car behind, but yeah, with Thomas leading the race, I don't think he went for an undercut. I'm just going to check the pit stop times in case. Yeah, no, he did change tyres. 66-second pit stop for both of these two. In fact, DeMarco only a 10th quicker in the pits, so not much gained there either. It looks like Thomas had a bit of a better line through the first chicane. That exit much better from Thomas. DeMarco, I think, took a bit too much curb, but through the second chicane, much quicker from DeMarco. So Thomas quicker in the first chicane, but slower in the second. This is definitely a great battle to watch out for. Now I think Thomas is going to have to. So close between the two. There's nothing separating them going into that hairpin, but I think Thomas is going to have to park his car in the apex every corner now for these last two laps. DeMarco's uncomfortably close. Flashing the lights there from DeMarco, I think. But yeah, this race has gone from dark into daytime. It's only 7 AM though. And looks like Tobin has got past Packham as well, so Tobin up into P9, Packham down into P10. We've got Ostrek and DeedeeTKU now battling for position once again. I believe Ostrek got past earlier on. He's now got to get past DeedeeTKU once again, and DeedeeTKU's not going to be leaving the door open this time around. Look how close they are. Into the braking zone. And Thomas going extremely defensive there. He's got the inside line. DeMarco on the outside tries for a switchback. Not going to work with the nature of that hairpin. And looking like Ostrek eyeing up a move here on DeedeeTKU, and I think he's going to get this done. He's got the inside coming up towards the hairpin, and not much DeedeeTKU can do here. In fact, he's going to try and hold it around the outside, but doesn't have the optimal line, and there we go. Ostrek has got the move done. Up into P14 he goes, and I think he's going to pull away now. But this is the battle we want to be watching, the battle for the lead. Look how close they are, and I think this is going to be the opportunity for DeMarco. No, he backs out of the move. Thomas has the inside line here, but he's got a poor exit, and he's going to have to keep the inside line going towards the next chicane, as he was a bit loose over the curve, exit curve, and he also got a poor exit there from having to defend the previous corner. But late on the brakes from Thomas, he's overshot the chicane, got a poor exit as a result once again, and they're going to be side by side here, coming up towards the next chicane. I think Thomas is going to have to hold it round the outside. It's going to be super close, super tight between these two, bit of door opening between the two, contact, and they're still side by side somehow. Looks like DeMarco is going to have the inside for the hairpin. Thomas is going to have to pull something off here. No, Thomas has got a good exit there, and he's going to have the inside now. Side by side once again between these two, and can all over the grass there for DeMarco. Switch back once again, not going to work. And this is actually the last lap. So I think Thomas is going to... No, there's been contact between the two. Thomas is not going to stay ahead. Surely DeMarco is going to have to return that position. And yeah, he does. Great sportsmanship there from DeMarco. He knew he was in the wrong. But Thomas is going to cross the line to take the win. DeMarco, P2, Demori, P3, right on the back of them after that battle. That could have been close if we had a few more laps. It would have been very close. Vining is going to fight around the final corner and cross the line in P4. Orange, what's happened to him? Yellow flag there. Has he run out of fuel? I think he's limping back towards the pits. It must be a fuel issue. He's not driving fast whatsoever, and now he's got Galley. Oh, maybe he was waiting for his teammate. Actually, maybe a formation finish here for the two. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it is a formation finish between the two, but Orange is going to finish P5, Galley P6. Dave is going to hold off Raggy there, and finishing P7, 8th for Raggy, Tobin in P9, Packham is going to cross the line in P10, and Van Hoorn in 11th and Barth in 12th. We're going to get some interviews at the end of this race as well. We'll be back, so just make sure to stay tuned. well, we move on to the interviews now. And what a race we had there. First, let's bring in our man in P3. Let's bring in DeMarco. Sorry, no, our man in P3, Demori. Let's bring in, get confused with their names. But here we go. We've got Demori, and once again, another P3 from you, which is becoming quite a recurring theme here. Constantly on the podium, P3. But you were in P2 for a while. After the pits, you came out behind. Well, yeah, after the pits, you were behind DeMarco. We didn't actually see what happened. What exactly happened?
Yeah, I was just pushing a bit too hard, and I took the chicane with the big curbs a bit too fast, and I spun. And yeah, the engine died as well. I think I lost like 10 seconds there. But yeah. Davide and Michael did a great race. No mistakes as far as I can see, apart from the last corner.
Yeah, apart from the last corner. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, I think. Well, if there was a bit more time in the race, you could have actually got involved in that battle again for the lead after they made that mistake. But yeah, another result, a good podium. Next round, so let's have a look what we have. Next round, it is Brands Hatch, another narrow circuit, which I think the Ferrari might be good at.
Yeah, I think the Ferrari didn't handle the curbs too well today, but I think Brands Hatch should be a track that is better suited, and it's also one of my favorite tracks, so hopefully I can maybe get a win there for once.
Yeah, hopefully on your favorite track. But congrats on the result, and we'll see you at Brands Hatch.
Cheers.
So there we have it. That was your man in P3, Demori. Let's bring over DeMarco now. DeMarco finished P2. What a race towards the end between you and Thomas. I mean, you could have had it. It was so close. But yeah, I think elbows out towards the end, which is fair enough. That looked like hard racing to me. But congrats on the result. Good points for you in the championship. And tell us how you're feeling.
Oh yeah, hello. The start. Sorry for my English, but I'm happy because I didn't think have the pace to make the podium. But in the quali I do a very good lap. The first part of the race I do some mistake, but in the second part I can push very hard. I see close the gap to Thomas, so I say I can do it. I try and good battle, but the second is very good.
Yeah, still good result.
Yeah, very good points for the championship.
Yeah, exactly. Now going into next round, it's Brands Hatch. Is it a track you like or a track you hate?
Oh, I like the track. It's difficult to learn, but I like the track. It's the old school, no?
Yeah, definitely. No room for error. Grass everywhere. So yeah, definitely a tricky track. But congratulations once again on the result. And we look forward to seeing you for next round.
See you next time. Bye.
There we have it. That was DeMarco then. One more interview to do. We've got Thomas, Michael Thomas, who we've got in now. Wow, what a race from you. What crazy racing towards the end as well. It was a bit too close for comfort, I think, for you. But you managed to hold on just towards the end. And
he was so close, I felt him in the room. Like I was looking over my shoulder in real life. He was just constantly closing the gap. He was so fast. Super nice guy as well. Wait for me at the end with the slight contact. It's just I need to have a nice lie down.
Yeah,
right
yeah. You had a bit of a gap though. You had about 5 seconds, and then I looked down once, and it was just the gap was down to 1 second. So what actually happened there? Did you make a mistake in the chicanes or?
So I had 3 track warnings after 4 minutes.
Oh no!
So Yeah, I had to drive really, really carefully. And then when the track got lighter and the track sort of heated up slightly, my tires were way overpressured. I was on like 6 psi over where you need to be.
Oh wow.
So I was just losing 3, 4, 5 tenths a lap, making mistakes. But DeMarco was just super consistent, closing up. And yeah, that fight at the end, my tires were just sliding. He was there in my mirrors, but he was super respectful. I cut the first chicane. I had to slow down not to get a drive through, and obviously give him a bit of an advantage for cutting it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, side by side through the second one, up the hill, and yeah, it's all a blur.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure you're going to be looking forward to watching that one back. But,
For sure.
top two, the other two, who finished in the top on the podium, said they quite like Brands Hatch. For Demori, it's his favourite track. How do you feel going into next round?
Yeah, like Brands Hatch, I think it's probably my most practiced track across when I've played console and PC, quite honestly. I mean, maybe Kyle Army, but yeah, it's good. It's a good track. I'm going there in 2 weeks' time as well to watch the real racing as well. So
Oh yeah, nice.
it'll be a good insight.
Yeah, definitely. So we might see all three of you on the podium once again for next round, considering it's tracks you like. But
Yeah, we'll see if Pisano turns up.
yeah, as well. You never know. I mean, what was his name? Ostrek got a drive-through at the start for
He
position.
did, yeah.
So you never know; it can happen to anyone.
That's true.
But yeah, congrats on the result, and
Thank you.
we will see you for next round.
Thank you. See you later.
See ya. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much it for this round. We'll be live once again tomorrow for the IMB Raceware GT3 Championship, which is at Spa. And it will be sunny as well, so we're at Spa once again, but this time in a different week. But yeah, that's it from us. Thanks for watching, and good night.